fellow knights and dames, greetings. Greetings from myself and from everyone on the Raymond Davis Foundation team. Easter, the anniversary of the legacy that Christ has left us, is almost here. At Christmas and at Easter, several things come increasingly into focus for me, ever more so as the years go by. Joy and peace and hope are foremost among those. 16 months ago, as most of you know, I underwent a double lung transplant just after Thanksgiving in 2022. And while I was recovering from that, I had a lot of time to consider these things. Though typically patients such as I are awoken within hours after our procedures, after our surgeries, they didn't wake me for 3.5 days. They said my lungs were a bit slow to start. And once they did wake me, I didn't sleep for even longer than that. With everything they were giving me and all that I was hooked up to and experiencing, what I wanted more than anything was a good night's sleep, which I was convinced would do more than anything to help me heal and recover and move forward as I got acquainted with my new lungs. A lot of well wishes and prayers were sent my way during those days. Everyone was welcomed and deeply appreciated, and every prayer felt. But they were more than just appreciated. They were a tremendous bright spot in my world during those days, lifting my spirits, cementing my resolve, and giving me ever more hope in the journey that lay ahead. It was early Christmas holiday season at the time, and people were sending their cards and holiday well wishes to each other, posting things in social media and sending messages in other such ways. They were wishing each other a Merry Christmas and a healthy and prosperous New Year, and those sorts of things that we all know we exchange with our loved ones and those we care about, our dear friends, during that season. Well, as I lay sleepless, in my ICU room, what came clear to me more than ever was that we're not assured of health or prosperity or the exceptionally blessed and fortunate lives that we have, especially here in our country and in the lives that we lead that many others don't have. What came into focus, though, was that two things, even in the most difficult times, cannot be taken from us: peace and joy. And it is because of Easter that this is true. We have them, as we all know, because Christ suffered for us, made us a promise, and gave us hope. Hope, a theme I keep turning back to. Hope in a more worldly form is what we aim to and do deliver to the Christians in the Holy Land. As Anne Lynn, who some of you know or remember, told us at a grand convent in Pasadena some years ago in a presentation by the same name, hope begins on a school desk. Now, sadly, I have to report that our charitable giving last year was down, and it was down in all categories across the board. I believe there are several reasons for it, but regardless, we have to try and do better. I fear that one of those factors is that there may be some increased apathy among some of us, born out of a lingering sense of despair, given the current state of things in the Holy Land. And that some among us may have a little bit of a sense of hopelessness, of inability to do much to change what is happening there. That couldn't be further from the truth. But if that is you, think of how the Christians there are feeling and have been feeling for the past 5 months. Coming up on 6. We can't quit when the going gets tough. We have to muster our resolve and do more. We're pledged as Templars, first and foremost, to aid and preserve the Christian presence in the Holy Land. There are no conditions on that. There are no litmus tests. We preserve that presence, first and foremost. After October 7th, we searched for the best way to deliver aid and support to those Christians and others suffering there in the Holy Land. Unlike Ukrainian refugee relief a year or so before, it wasn't as simple as sending money to a partner organization who was working in and had contacts in precisely the right places to help the people we wanted to target with our aid. Situation in the West Bank and Gaza and Jerusalem and Palestine writ large and Israel, far, far more complex. What we concluded after studying that problem was that the most direct and efficient way to support the Christians that we aim to keep there in the Holy Land, to give them both relief and hope, is with scholarships. The scholarships relieve a financial burden, not just for students, but for entire families. But beyond that, they do far, far more. Chevalier Jim Fosbrink will share some thoughts about what's happening over there and about the Christians and what they're experiencing over there in just a moment. But as he does, as he shares his insights, I'd ask you to consider adopting students, a student still in need there in the Holy Land. We have in the neighborhood of 30 unsponsored but nominated students there right now. A little bit short of 30, but we're expecting 5 university level nominations for nurses and physical therapy students any day now. They all need your help. We need your help. If you can't do it yourself, consider partnering with someone and sharing that sponsorship. If you don't have someone that you can turn to, that you have readily in mind to partner with, let us work on the matchmaking. Just let us know. Let us know that that's what you're interested in, if we can find you a suitable partner to share a scholarship with, and we'll work on that. Whatever the right level for you is, we need to get these students sponsored. We've not increased our level of scholarship work. We've kept it level because we had a hard time last year. We did fill all those scholarships, but we had a hard time doing it. So we've held steady on the level. What's gone down is how much we've been doing. You can reach us by email at rdfscholarships@smotj.org. My brothers and sisters, may peace and joy through the miracle of Easter be yours this Easter and when you need them the most, and every day in between. God bless you all, and we'll hear now from Jim Fosbrink.
Happy Easter, everyone. I'm Jim Fosbrink, Co-Scholarship Program Director. When 7 October happened, nobody could have predicted what would happen next in the West Bank. The entire West Bank could have descended into chaos as it did during the First and Second Intifadas. Although there has been settler violence and raids in Jenin, the West Bank has remained relatively calm. Palestinians have not been allowed to enter Israel to work. Checkpoints are limiting their movement within the West Bank, and tourist numbers have dropped off. This has devastated the economy again, just as it was starting to recover post-COVID. Many Palestinian families have little or no income. Parents are taking out bank loans to send their children to the Christian schools because they value education. They know a good education is the key to unlocking a better future for their children. In the accompanying pictures, you can see the incredible, almost miraculous efforts of the staff and teachers at the Christian schools where we sponsor students. The high school students are continuing to attend classes in person. The educators are trying as hard as possible to provide a normal environment for the children and young adults to continue to grow. For many, this is probably the one stable thing they currently have in their lives. There is simply no better way right now to support keeping young Christians in the Holy Land than by funding scholarships. We can alleviate the financial burden these families are facing and help give their children hope for the future. The Raymond Davis Foundation team is really struggling this year in our efforts to find sponsors for about 30 students. If you or a group from your priory is interested in helping during these dire times, please contact us through our email, raymonddavisfoundation@smotj.org. Thank you.